Welcome to Oryx Learning. Today's lesson is on Unit 10, Scatterplots and Data Analysis, Lesson 6, Analyze Data Distribution. Why is the median used to describe the center of a non-symmetric distribution instead of the mean, like in a symmetrical distribution? If you'd like to find out the answer to this question, please follow along and we'll revisit it at the end. A gap in a distribution is where there are no data values in the distribution. For example, between 4 and 6, there is a gap in this example below. A peak is where the most frequently occurring value or interval of values is located. In the graph below, we can see that is at 3. An outlier is a data value that is 1.5 times the interquartile range from the first and third quartiles. In this example, there is one outlier that's shown at 14. A cluster is when many data values are grouped together. In this example, the cluster would be between 2 and 4. The distribution of a set of data shows the arrangement of the data values. It can be described by its center, by its spread or variation, and by its overall shape. If the left side of a distribution looks like the right side, then the distribution is symmetric. If the left side does not look like the right side, then it is non-symmetric. In a symmetric curve like the one shown, use the mean to describe the center and the mean absolute deviation to describe the spread. In a non-symmetric curve, use the median to describe the center and the interquartile range to describe the spread. The blank of a dataset shows the arrangement of data values. Well, by definition, as we just saw, the distribution of a dataset shows the arrangement of the data values. Given the graph below, identify anything that would be considered a gap. By definition, a gap is any place on the distribution where there are no data values. We can see in this example that between 6 and 8, there are no data values, so that is where the gap occurs. The distribution below shows the number of absent students in Mr. Ahmed's math classroom. Which type of symmetry does the distribution show? If we put a line down through the middle of the distribution and compare the left side of the distribution to the right side of the distribution, we can see that the left side is not the same as the right side. If the left side of the distribution is not the same as the right side, then it is a non-symmetric distribution. The distribution below represents scores on a recent 30-point quiz. Find the center of the distribution. Looking at the distribution, we can see that it is not the same on the left and right sides, making it non-symmetric. Therefore, the median should be used to describe the center of the distribution. In a box plot, the 5 values represented are the minimum, the Q1 or the first quartile, the median, the Q3 or the third quartile, and the maximum. So in this case, trying to represent the center, we need the median, and the median is 14. So the center of the distribution is 14. Now back to our original question. Why is the median used to describe the center of a non-symmetric distribution instead of the mean, like in a symmetrical distribution? A non-symmetrical distribution can contain an outlier. The mean and the mean absolute deviation are greatly influenced by an outlier, so the median is used to describe the center and the interquartile range for the spread. Here's 2 examples of a dataset, the first being 1, 3, and 5. The mean of this dataset is 3. The median is also 3. Now let's change that dataset to have an outlier. So now we have 1, 3, and 98. The mean drastically changes to 34, but the median stays the same. So in a non-symmetric distribution, which may contain an outlier, the median is a better way to represent the data. Let's review. A gap is where there are no data values in a distribution. In this example, between 4 and 6. A peak is where the most frequently occurring value or interval of values is located. In this example, at 3. An outlier is a data value that's 1.5 times the interquartile range from the first and third quartiles. In this example, there was 1, which is at 14. And a cluster is when many data values are grouped together, which in this example would be between 2 and 4. That is our lesson for today. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed it.